Oh, a flamingo!
Oh, the R2 Club is busy. Yeah.
Checking out the ladies.
At least as far as I can remember, before there was something called steampunk, there was a sort of steampunk. There was Western steampunk, like Wild West. And I assume that your books have that flavor to them. And I think it really was part of the genre, and so it because of the time period and the technology.
Well, how much of it might stem from a sense of adventure? I mean, you look at American history, and you know the last real open territory in America, that place to discover was when steampunk takes place, the 1800s, right? After that, it's all been defined essentially.
Hey, I'm Charles Soule, the guy who killed Wolverine.
You write comics because you love comics. I mean, the only way that you get into this business is you're in love with the form. So, you know, what influenced me? Comics. It is a self-creating industry. You don't write comics. You don't write comics if you don't love reading comics. How did I become a writer, which is the real question, is a much harder and longer answer. But the quick version is, I had parents who read, and I had parents who wrote, so I knew it was stuff that could be done. And I read a lot, and I wrote a lot, and it turned out I was not bad at it. So, yeah. I don't have genres. I have the story I want to tell at any given time. So, you know, maybe this story is a better espionage story, maybe this story is a better sci-fi story, maybe this story is a better fantasy story, maybe this story is a better noir story. But I really very, very rarely think of genre. It doesn't interest me in that way. I love genre fiction, but I don't sit down and go, oh, I want to write, you know, I'm going to write high fantasy now. It's never been how it works for me. Yeah, no, I mean, you can't, again, you find a writer who says no, they're lying. You know, I can give you a long list of writers that influenced me in one way or another. I can give you writers who are teachers. I can give you writers that I've known personally. I can give you writers that, you know, I've read. The list goes on and on. So it's not, you know, and frankly, if you're reasonably well read and you read my stuff, you'll see my influences. I'm not really shy about them. You know, I've all over the place, man, all over the place. Sit down and get to work. No, I mean, look, the biggest thing that stops people from succeeding in anything is that they're unwilling to put in the hours. And I believe very strongly that the only thing that you can actually control is the number of hours you put into something. You know, how do you want to break into comics? Well, you want to write or you want to draw? If you want to write, start writing comics. If you want to draw, start drawing comics. We live in an age where you can self-publish at the drop of a hat. There is no excuse for not putting your own stuff out there on the web. You know, it's harder, I think, if you're a writer. But, you know, Matt Fraction I was on a panel yesterday, and Fraction was talking about a wonderful writer named Ray Fawkes. And Ray wanted to make comics. So he taught himself how to draw so he could do the comics he wanted to write. And as Matt tells it, and then he showed it to people, and they said, wow, you really can't draw, but your writing's great. You know, now you look at Ray's stuff, he's a remarkable artist. I mean, so, you know, there's no reason to not be doing it. And that is going to be the difference between the people who succeed and the people who don't. The ones who succeed are the ones who put the hours in. I did a lot of time at the big two. I'm not interested in serving their corporate entities anymore. I have my own stories I want to tell. I spent the better part of 15 years of my career telling telling stories with other people's characters. You know, I want to tell the stories with my own. I want to tell my stories now. You know, it was a privilege. It was great to be able to write Batman and Wonder Woman and Spider-Man and, you know, go down the line. But I think I'm done, at least for the time being. So.
Now, during your run on The Punisher, whose idea was it to give Frank a beard and an eye patch and all that?
That was the artist. That was Marco Cicchetto.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. It was Marco's idea. I mean, we knew that, you know, he had hurt himself, so the eye patch was just a necessity. But if you look at a lot of special forces stuff that's in particular coming out of places like Afghanistan and so on, these guys grow out their hair. I mean, they've got long hair, they've got big beards. They do it as part of going undercover. It made sense for Frank to do it. You know, the idea that he's always got this high and tight was silly to me. So. Good, we ended with the Punisher question. There you go.
Get that camera out of my face, bub, before you do yourself an injury.